Awesome. Starting soon. Starting now. Let's see. So on the previous stream, I did some work on adding some magic sign-in authentication to this little 30 days Rails app that I have going on here. Since then, I've added a little bit of Tailwind styling. So you can see we've got a nice looking navigation, but the Tailwind resets have totally wiped out some of the styling some of the kind of like native styling of H1s and things like that. So I think I'm gonna do a couple quick tweaks to some of that, and then I'm gonna dive into making an adjustment with the magic links that we worked on last time. The magic links were set up as GET requests. You'd get this link in your email and you just click on it and it would fire off it would send you to a page that would then sign you in and then you'd be an authenticated user. The issue with that, there's kind of a couple issues with that. So I've seen this come up in other apps before where you have a GET link in an email and certain email clients will follow that link ahead of time, probably some sort of like spam detection protocol, or maybe it's a situation like Slack where they're trying to show you like a preview of the page. So when some sort of email client or third-party app visits a link like that ahead of time, if you're doing any sort of if you're doing anything on the server where you're like creating meaningful like objects such as a user session, that really shouldn't be a GET request then. Those sorts of requests, you want to be some sort of other verb. And so in the case of creating a session, a post makes a lot of sense. And so that's what I'm going to do here. Now, because of that, it's going to require sort of an intermediate page where when you receive the email, that link takes you to a page, and then it's from there that you're going to see some sort of link, and that link will be the post, and you click on that, and that'll sign you in. So that's the piece I'm going to work on, but first let's look at a little Tailwind. Yeah, so we added a bunch of stuff here. Oh yeah, another really cool thing. I've never before worked with Alpine.js, but that came up in wiring up some things here. So this xShow open is I guess like a directive or an attribute that Alpine.js knows to look for based on some state that was set. Where was it set? I think we set open. Okay, yeah, so we create some data here in this like outer navigation tag. We're saying by default when this page loads, open is false. Then we've got open down here, so let's see. So this is like an on-click handler that's put on the button. This is again an Alpine directive, and what it does is when you click on the button, it sets open to true. And that's where this comes into play. So this div will be shown when open is true, and it will not be shown when open is false. And then we also have this additional directive here, click away, where we'll then set open to false if you click anywhere that's not inside this div. So in just a few pretty quick lines, Alpine.js gives you a ton of really solid functionality for creating an effect like this one here, where you click and it opens, I click somewhere else and it closes. Click on it, click it again. So that's, I think, really slick. That's, again, Alpine.js. And pretty bought in personally on React for most kinds of projects, but that's just because I do a lot of like highly interactive web app type things. But yeah, for a situation where you need a lighter touch, I'm really impressed with Alpine, and will definitely kind of keep an eye open for an opportunity to use it. So, okay. So I guess the main thing, going back to the Tailwind stuff, the main thing that's bugging me is just the A tags, the hrefs are just blending in with the rest of the text. They don't really stand out, and so I'd like to adjust that. And I think I can do that with Tailwind CSS apply, not apply important, just apply. Yeah, extracting components. So it's not so much that I want to extract a component, but I'd like to do something kind of like this. Like this, maybe. Yeah, totally. Something kind of like this. So, yeah, actually, so the reason I'm thinking of this is because I did a TIL on this the other day. So, Tailwind, yeah, base links for style text. Okay, yeah. So I kind of like this one. Copy that over, and then I'm still going to kind of follow this apply syntax here. So we will jump over to, what is it, app, JavaScript, style sheets. Yeah, so similar to how we're applying this color to the body, I can say for all A tags, well, like that full tab stop, I would rather that be, I wonder where that is. If I source my MRC, there we go, that's better. I think I had fixed that recently and just didn't get applied to this particular Vim session. Okay, so for all the A tags, if I apply this set of styles, yeah, that should just work sort of across all instances of this. So I'll give the page a refresh. And it's going to take a little while because this, the sort of Rails pipeline is going to have to, or I guess the Webpacker pipeline, if you want to call it that, is going to have to recompile all that. And I think we just saw this go, so it figured it out. Great. And so that is a link that stands out now, which is great. I can click on it and I'm signed out. Then I can sign in with the password flow, but how about we do, we can do that, but I think first I need to get a mail server running. So I'm gonna get Mailhog going, and that's gonna be running at 8025. Okay, and then if I, yeah, so then if I do the magic link sign up, oh yeah, this really clobbered some of my styles. So we'll have to at some point go back through and fix that, but let's sign in with this user. Let's see there, it says it sent me an email. I go here, I see the email showed up, and it's from example.com, so that's something to fix as well. And I'll go ahead and click on the sign in, and now I'm signed in. And so, yeah, that's a perfect example of what we need to fix here, is that link there should not be able to actually sign you in, because this link is just a GET request. This link should take you to a page that then has a button you can post with. But first off, I'm happy with how the links are looking now, so I'm going to apply that change. Yeah, I don't know why I changed this to 200. I think I'm gonna quit out of that and put this back. Okay, now let's, yeah, just the A tag change, yes. So that's it. So I'm gonna create a commit then, some base styling for A tags. Cool. So that's that. I'm gonna put that up. And that's gonna, cool, so that open that and, or that put that up on that branch, the add Tailwind through Webpack branch, which was already living on GitHub. But it doesn't look like I have a PR for that, which I can see. So GH, which I just recently started checking out, is this GitHub command line utility. Lets do a lot of things. So I can do stuff with PRs, for instance. I can say GH PR list, and it will tell me in a second maybe that I don't have any pull requests yet, so that makes sense. I can say PR, what are the options? The options are create, that's the one I'm interested in. Create fill, what does fill do? Can I say help with the create command? Oh yeah, there we go. That gives me a whole bunch of options. I think I'm actually not super interested in creating the PR on the command line. I just want to open up that in the web browser. Cool, and that worked. So this gets tagged with the name of my branch, add Tailwind through Webpacker. And yeah, 8 files changed across 4 commits. Oh, a lot of Tailwind styles there. And then, yeah, what else was involved in this? Had to install auto prefixer Tailwind, the Tailwind compat version. That was important. Had to enable both of these plugins in the post CSS. Added a base Tailwind config. Didn't do much here. I should probably purge the unused stuff, but I'll get to that in a little bit. And then there's the yarn lock. Okay. All right, and the stuff I scrolled past right at the beginning was importing this style sheet in this Webpack's application.js, which is where all the Tailwind, sort of the main Tailwind stuff gets imported. The base stuff, which I think includes the resets, all of the components, the utility stuff. So that all gets pulled in here. Cool, so that's a pull request. I create that. I don't think there's much to do here. I don't have any CI set up, and I'm happy with those changes. I'm just going to go ahead and merge them in. Great, that's merged. So jumping back here, I can jump back to main, and I can get pull rebase to grab the latest changes from main, which, gets being slow. Or do I not have GPR? No, I don't want to update it. I just want to source the file. Okay. There we go. So this is an alias, a Zeesh alias for get pull rebase, like that. And running it here, I hadn't sourced my z-c file since adding this alias, and so it was just hanging, I guess. Didn't know what to do, but once I sourced it, it knew what that meant and was able to pull down all my changes. Again, these are just the changes that I just merged. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna create a new branch now. And I'm remembering that I'm on a version of Git that has the switch command, which is a way of switching between branches. Typically you use git checkout to do this, but as of I think 2.23, they added a sort of more dedicated specific command for switching between branches, and it's a little easier to read. And it comes with the -c flag, which allows you to create a new named branch. So that's what I'm going to use. Git switch -c. Get a sip of water here. And yeah, what should I name this branch? I guess change magic link get to post. Yeah, I think it's fairly concise, but still lets me know exactly what this branch is about. Cool. So I'm going to got, I think, a ton of buffers going right now. I've got 119 buffers going right now. So I'm going to wipe out a bunch of them. I'm actually going to switch over to the magic link controller, and I'm going to wipe out, I guess, 70 buffers. Not sure why I didn't wipe out more than that, but if I list buffers, yeah, there's 3 of them now. I guess a couple of these have changes. Get config, app views, project show. I wonder what's going on here. Getting sidetracked, but navigation. Okay, I don't know what that file's about, but I'm just gonna ignore it for now. Yes, so create a magic link, and then this sign in with token is the issue here. So if I open the routes file, got our sign in with token, and this is what we want to be a post. So let me open a notes file. So I guess first thing is yeah, we want a landing page for the link that shows up in the email. We want a landing page that we can be taken to that then allows us to sign in. So landing page for the email magic link. And so that link should contain the time-based, time-sensitive token that will allow this particular user to sign in, because then that'll be used in the post endpoint for consuming the token and creating the session. Triggered by a button on the magic link landing page. Okay. So those are, I guess, the two steps I want to take, and I think I want to take them in this order. So start with this landing page first. See if I can trying to shrink this down a little bit so I can leave my notes out. Okay. Fortunately, I didn't know a better way to do that than to just hit Control W minus 7 times. Okay. Change this to a post, but again, that's step 2. So the first thing is we want a get, which is honestly, I guess it could be the same thing. Magic sign in token. That's a get, and that should go to magic links, and what do I want to call this? Just trying to think of like what the name of this action would be that's kind of representative of what's going on here. It's like allowing you to like confirm the sign in. It's going to prep the token for sign in. It's like the token landing page. Magic link, token landing page. Yeah, I don't love that, but I'm going to start there. As magic sign in. I think that needs to change to that, and this needs to be yeah, what is the alias for this going to be? The naming things part of my brain is not cooperating this evening. I'm curious if I just chop that off, what I get over here when I run Rails outs. If we say magic link. So we've got the post. Yeah, so magic sign in, that's the one we just newly created a few minutes ago. And the thing that it's replacing is this post magic sign in. So these are separated now, but yeah, it's not a good way to refer to this. So we'll have to give it some sort of name as consume magic token. Or I guess we could just tailor it after this path. Sign in with token. So then what does this give us? Magic sign in with token path is the post. Okay. I think I like that. Okay. So let's, I think we probably busted some tests there. So I'm curious to jump back to the controller, hop over to the tests, and yeah, see what happened here. So spec. A couple failures. Maybe I'm not testing what I thought I was testing here. So this is still working, supposedly. Oh, that's very interesting. Calling get for something that should only respond to a post. Did we not save something in our... No, we saved this. Sign in with token. Post. Wonder why that is. So if I were to jump to, let's see. Yeah, sorry, so this section here, this describe 72. What if I were to call this a post? Does it know how to handle it then? Specify line 72 on this test run. Yeah, it's happy with that, but when I change it to a get, it's still happy, I guess. I guess the reason I'm surprised is I thought, even though it's just a controller spec and it's testing the controller action, I thought these routes would, I thought the routing layer came into play at some level. Like if I just totally wipe these out, yeah, see, it's nothing like that. No route matches, sign in with token. But I guess as long as the route's there, it doesn't care whether it's specified as a get or a post. Okay. Well, that's fine, I guess. Just need to go through and make all of these gets then, or posts rather. Oops. What did I do there? Okay, so with all of those in place, if I run the file, expect it to be all green, and it is. That's great. But yeah, if I were to close that, let's see, so if I were to sign out, oh boy, it's hanging. What's going on? Compiling. Okay, so I'm signed out. If I were to sign in with Magic Link, I'd give them my email, I click sign in. Go to MailHog, I've got one in my inbox that I received a few seconds ago. Click on it. There we go. Yeah, this couldn't be found, and that's because we're executing a get on it. So that's some progress. Yeah, maybe this is a case where a Rails 6 testing. I think nowadays they kind of recommend this Where is it? Oh, these functional tests for your controllers. And I think this sort of testing would actually get at what we're dealing with, which is it would like fully include the routing layer, which we're kind of missing here, and I think that could be a fun thing to explore in a different stream, but I'm gonna kind of charge ahead with what we've got going on here. So yeah, back to this. So those are all working. That's good. This is our post endpoint now, but we need a and I have to remember what we called it. A token landing page. Oh boy, yeah. Well, I'll live with that for now. So we've got a token landing page, which I guess isn't gonna do a whole lot. I suppose it could possibly verify the token is valid. If it isn't, then redirect to sign in. If it is, under the page. I kind of like that, but let's just start with the happy path. We'll just run to the page. So let's say token gets params token. So we're going to grab the token out of the URL. And so with that, then we can create an app view. And we've got our magic links. So we've got new already. So that token landing page .html.erb, and yeah, I mean, the absolute simplest thing we could do is inject a button, method post, I think. What's this? Action. Is it the action that I need to? It has been a little while since I've done this, so I guess we could use this button too. Controller, action, method post. Maybe that's what I was looking for. So let's render something like that and see where that gets us. So I'm gonna create one of these. And magic link, or sign in with magic link, something like that. And yeah, here's our path. So this is going to be the, I'm already forgetting it again, the magic sign in. Okay, the magics, or no, sorry, the sign in with token path. That's what we want. This is the sign in with token path, and it gets the token, method post, params. I don't know if we need any params. If we do that, then let's see where this gets us. Sign in with, oh sure, sign in with token path. But this is promising. This error message that we're seeing here is failing on this line in our template or in our view, and that means we're at least getting to the view, so things are routing correctly. And so if I refresh the page, cool, we're getting our whole layout, and then there's this thing. I want to inspect this to see what's actually going on here. Oh, that's right. So Rails is creating a form with an action, and then it's injecting the button inside of it as a input element. Okay. Right, and then we've got the CSRF protection stuff. Okay, so that magic sign-in, that looks great. I think we've got this lined up right. So if I click that, so that is expired because it's a. I think these tokens only have 5 minutes on them, which is pretty short. Is that right? 5 minutes from now. Yeah, exactly. So when I create these tokens, they're only 5 minutes long. So I just got to send another one and see if this can work. So magic sign in. Oh, and right before I do this, that exact scenario that we ran into would have really benefited from this right here. We could have checked that the token wasn't valid and then sent them back to the magic link sign-in page, perhaps with a message that says something to this effect, that the token has expired and that you need to request another one. Okay, so I'm going to request a new token. It's been sent. I go ahead and look in Mailhog here. And I've got this one just a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, and I click sign in. Oh, right, okay. So this is the sign in landing page. I see my magic link. I click that, and now I'm signed in. Okay, so that was actually not as much of moving things around as I expected. I had to kind of jostle about the paths, add this action. That was kind of the bulk of it. Cool. I feel good about that. I think that's worth a commit. So that's a little tangential formatting, but I'll throw it in. This is important. It's the action for the landing page. And I guess just to say a note about what I'm doing here with gap, this stands for, this is another Zeesh alias that I have. It's short for get add patch. Actually quit out here and say get add patch. You see it does the same thing. And it's just going to present me one chunk of changes at a time from all the changes in my working directory. And I have the option to say, yes, I want to stage it. No, I don't want to stage it. For instance, I could have decided this one I wanted to go in a different commit, in which case I could have excluded it and by saying no. Or like you saw me do a minute ago with Q, I just quit out, sort of aborted the remainder of the interactive staging. I know E is edit, which is kind of tricky, but I use sometimes. Not sure what the A and D are for, but you could probably find out if you did that. Sure, so stage this hunk and all later hunks in the file, which is fantastic terminology, by the way. Yeah, so I guess that's just if you want to grab everything. In all later hunks in the file. That actually seems super useful for when you are, sometimes I'll have done a yarn install, and so I'll have a new package that's part of my project along with some other changes, and so I'll be gapping through, taking some of the changes, and then I get to the yarn lock file, and it's just like I'm hitting Y over and over and over and over again, because a lot of packages get included when you install even just one npm package. And so I could see hitting A once you get to the yarn lock file being a nice way to kind of say like, yeah, I'll take everything in the yarn lock, and then you can kind of resume from there. Yeah, what about D? Do not stage this hunk or any later hunks in this file. I guess that's sort of the opposite. If you know you don't want to stage anything in another yarn lock situation, you can hit D and just skip past that file. Cool. I learned something new. It's fun to dig into the documentation every once in a while and see what you don't know. Okay, so anyway, back to staging. Yes, I want this change, and I'm gonna leave my notes in because I think those will be helpful later. So take that. Definitely want these changes to the routes file, so yes, I'll take those as well. And then, yeah, I think all of this changes in the spec I want. Post, yeah, okay. So I think that all looks good, so I'm gonna go ahead and, what am I leaving out? Oops, nothing, but I'm missing an untracked file, so I need to add this one in. Okay. I know it's pretty common to reach for like git add dot. I'm not a fan of that because I like to have control over everything I'm adding in, and I didn't want to add this in. Honestly, I should probably clean up my untracked files, but it's yeah, it's nice to, I think, really be clear about what's getting added into a commit, so you can have really clean commits, clean PRs. So that's why I use patch instead. But yeah, I'm happy with everything that I've got staged here, so I'm going to do GC for commit. And yeah, what do we want to say? Add intermediate landing page, sign in on post, something like that. I think that gets the message across. Cool. So yeah, maybe I'll take a moment here to do this thing. So we get the token. Yeah, we get the token, and I guess we can look it up. So we'll say magic link dot find by, I'll do a where token is params token, and then we'll do a expires at is, I'll have to break open another where for that comparison, because we're going to do do some string interpolated SQL here. So we'll say expires at is greater than question mark, and what that'll be is time.current. Time.current is very relevant to this situation because we're dealing with a 5-minute window here. Time.current is going to be sensitive to the time zone of the server, whereas if you were to do time.now, that's going to be based on the server time, like of the actual machine, rather than of like how your Rails server is configured. So time.current is the thing you want to reach for pretty much always, because again, that's time zone sensitive. And so yeah, this is gonna, I guess, check, does the token even look like something that we know about in our database, and is it not yet expired? Is the current time less than the expires at time? So if we're able to so if we want to return, or no, so let's look at, yeah, so we want to, I guess, do like a redirect to, yeah, what is it, magic link new, something like that, whatever this new path is. New magic link, okay. Okay, so redirect to new magic link path if, and the if is if magic link dot blank. So again, if we tried to look up the magic link based on these two criteria, if we didn't find anything, then we need to send the user back to the new magic link path so they can request a new one. Otherwise, we'll let them proceed with their token. Yeah, I guess we could say, could provide an alert as well. Maybe I'll do that. Put here, we'll say flash alert gets the token is no longer valid. Please request a new one. Something like that. Okay. So I think if we, with that in place, you know, we could go here and say, click on the sign in. It takes us here to the magic link sign in, and it has our message there that we just left. So that's great. Okay, I think that's another commit. That was not bad to, not too challenging to add either. So replace our comments with some working code that I think is sort of self-documenting. Oh, and it was just that. Okay. So, yeah, redirect user to new, redirect user to magic link sign in if token expired. Send back to sign in if token is expired. Like that. Okay, I think that works. Get a log. We've got two commits that we added. Feel pretty good about those. I will go ahead and say we'll push up our changes, and then I can actually just click on this to open it up, and it will create a PR for this. Awesome. I feel good about that. I'm going to go ahead and call that for the end of the stream. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I feel better about where things are at with the Magic Link sign in, and yeah, thanks for hopping on and following along with me. I will see you on the next stream.